and so on and so forth. Whenever somebody suspected to having gotten involved in corruption is arrested, ideally it's a good thing. However, some of us are not too excited yet. We don't want to get very excited very quickly because we have seen how things have always happened in the past. That a few people get arrested and the situation dies there to give the public a semblance of we are doing something about it, to pretty much hoodwink the public. So we don't want to get excited yet. It's a good thing. Some people have been arrested, and our hope is that there will be a lot more investigations, but we hope that this does not become like the Mabati saga, where a few people were arrested, arraigned in courts of law, but many other powerful people were not touched. That ceases to be justice. Our hope is that this investigation will be broadened, because we have a real challenge. And we should not just do window dressing. We have a real challenge at Parliament of Uganda. My hope, as leader of the opposition, is that we get to cast the net wider if we want to clean up Parliament. And as far as I'm concerned, the cleanup of Parliament should begin with the Parliamentary Commission, as far as I'm concerned. That's where problems start from. I have, for example, written to the Speaker of Parliament this morning, and I'm asking the Speaker of Parliament, when does the Commission meet? I became Leader of Opposition in January of this year. According to Section 2 of the Administration of Parliament Act, according to our rules of procedure, the Leader of the Opposition is a member of the Commission. Now, I have learned that there are some quiet meetings of the Commission that have been happening in the Speaker's office, usually with the backbench commissioners. Now, how does that become a meeting of the Commission? Because as leader of the opposition, I am maybe what you would call a front bench commissioner. That's why we have backbench commissioners. But I've never been invited for a meeting of the Parliamentary Commission. And yet I understand there are some clandestine meetings that keep happening. Because people are recruited, that can only be approved by the Parliamentary Commission. When you read Section 6F of the Administration of Parliament Act as amended, the Parliamentary Commission is supposed to consider revenue and estimates of Parliament and then approve the budget of Parliament before it goes through the other processes, the committee, and then plenary. So in the letter I've written to the Speaker, I'm asking, did the Commission meet to approve the Parliament budget of 2024-2025? If so, why is it that as the leader of the opposition, I was never invited? Is there something that the Commission is hiding from some of its members like myself? Are they keeping me out of the Parliamentary Commission meetings because I ask too many questions? And yes, I will ask those questions because that's my duty. My duty is to keep the government in check. I'm a full member of the Commission, and it's important that I get to know some of the happenings. Members come to me as LOB, and they have complaints. Committees are not properly facilitated. They cannot, some of them need to go to different districts to carry out their work. But each time they request for that, they're told there is no money. How can there be no money for committees to do their work, but there's billions of shillings available to the Speaker for corporate social responsibility? How? How does that make sense? There's plenty of money available for people to be given service awards. All of these are discussions that are meant to happen in the Parliamentary Commission. Unfortunately, some of us are kept and locked out of the Parliamentary Commission, which is illegal because I am a member of the Commission. And so I want to know, and that's why I written to the Speaker, I want to know, did she or anybody else amend the Constitution, amend the Administration of Parliament Act and our Rules of Procedure to say now the law is no longer a member of the Commission because the law is very clear? Are they bothered by the questions that I'm asking, and so they don't want me to ask those questions in the Commission meetings? So that's the challenge, and that's why I'm saying, as some members of Parliament are being arrested, we need to broaden the investigation of Parliament of Uganda, beginning with the Parliamentary Commission, because that's where lots of things are happening surreptitiously and clandestinely. You see, if Parliament is to function effectively, it has got to be accountable, one, to members of the Parliamentary Commission, because that's the top organ of this institution. Number two, it's got to be accountable to all members of Parliament. That's why they are raising questions. But finally, it has got to be accountable to the general public. It's important that that gets to happen. So the tendency for the Parliamentary Commission to operate clandestinely without involvement of members of the Commission raises a lot of suspicion. And this has got to be addressed. You know, the Speaker of Parliament always says that we are a people-centered Parliament. My hope is that this does not just be a slogan, because it seems like a slogan. It has got to be reflected in how we operate and how accountable we are as an institution. So I thought that it's important for this to be out there, because we're a public entity and we must operate publicly. We are public officials. As leader of the opposition, I'm not just accountable to my party NUP that nominated me for this position. I'm not just accountable to the opposition, which I lead in Parliament. I'm accountable to the entire Parliament. I'm accountable to the entire country called Uganda. And that's why I'm asking questions about how taxpayers' money is being utilized or misutilized. So we, at least in my case, I am not going to keep quiet whenever I see things going wrong. I'm not going to keep quiet when the Commission is operating like a small clique. Because the Commission is not just these few backbench commissioners that meet, distribute money amongst themselves. They meet to approve recruitments of several people, some of whom we understand are many of their relatives. They meet to award contracts. Huge contracts. In some cases where there's even conflict of interest, because some of the companies that are awarded contracts belong to people who sit in some of these small meetings. And maybe that's why they don't invite some of us for these meetings, because we shall ask questions. So I would like to appeal to the leadership of this institution. Let's be transparent. Let's be accountable. Let Parliament work as an institution and not somebody's small kiosk or small property. Because that's why we're having a challenge in this country. That's why there's billions of money, running on different accounts for personal work, and yet committees do not have money to operate. So it is something that I am challenging. It is something that I'm not going to keep quiet about, and I'll not allow anyone to intimidate me, because I'm not here at the invitation of anybody. As voted for by the people of Nakawa West, nobody in this building invited me to be MP. The people of Nakawa did vote for me. And number two, my party nominated me to become leader of the opposition. It was not at the invitation or wanting or liking of anybody here. And so I'll keep speaking out so that we clean ourselves up. All right, let me, regarding these matters. So I'm not just coming out now. I have, even on the floor of Parliament, raised the matter of commission meetings. And the Speaker on the floor of Parliament said, don't worry, the commission will sit. That was her response, yeah? So I'm only reiterating these issues because of passage of time, but also the new discoveries, because it's of recent that I've gotten information that there are clandestine meetings that sit. All right, so as I keep getting information, I'll keep speaking about these issues because they are problematic. Is this a scapegoat? About what? Because I don't think there should be anything to hide, and that's what I'm telling the commission. Stop meeting quietly and secretly as you look out some of us. All right, what exactly is it that you're hiding? Regarding some opposition MPs receiving summons, I don't know as yet. I have no information to that effect. Normally when police is to summon an MD, they write to the Speaker of Parliament. And the Speaker is the one who delivers the summons to the Member of Parliament. So I don't know how many summons the Speaker has received and which particular members of Parliament are targeted, whether NRM or opposition. I don't have information to that effect. Am I supposed to be invited to the commission? Yes. Because, for example, whenever I come to Parliament, should I just go to the Speaker's office and find, is there a commission meeting today? Even committees of Parliament don't operate that way. I was a committee chairperson, and whenever we had a meeting, I would, through the clerk to the committee, invite members each time. So that's how we are supposed to operate in an orderly manner. So I'm not supposed to always be, I don't know, having spies at the Speaker's office. Now, whenever you see backbench commissioners going to the Speaker's office, you alert me so that I also run and I come to attend. Because you see, the Speaker has the right to call anyone in her office over anything. So I don't have a problem with the Speaker meeting whoever. I only have a problem with her convening a commission meeting without some of us being informed, because we are supposed to be notified of a commission meeting. Even when there is a special commission meeting that is meant to be abrupt or whatever the case might be, we are supposed to be notified. So it's not happening, and that's my challenge, that's my problem. Maybe let me respond to that together with someone who asked, how often is the commission meant to meet? Ideally, it should be at least quarterly, at least. But sometimes it can be more times, depending on what's happening, issues that have got to be addressed. Because you see, the commission, why the commission has got to meet regularly, it is the top organ of Parliament. It's like the board of Parliament. Okay, so for any functional institution, the board is meant to meet at least quarterly, because decisions have got to be taken. The commission here is the one that approves for anyone to be recruited and all of these different things. The commission is the one that approves monies to be spent and so on and so forth. That's why it's meant to meet regularly. So that's why I'm bothered, because I have learned that they meet quietly as a small group. And I'm saying that's illegal, totally illegal. I'm told the Speaker is a lawyer like myself. Let's follow the law, because the law is very clear. Rachel, are you getting feedback from the Speaker over these different letters? Sometimes yes, sometimes no. Sometimes she has responded on the floor to say, look, I got your letter, but don't worry, the commission will eventually sit. But you see, the reason I keep writing is because I want to be on record. I'm not doing it for fun. As a lawyer, I know that it's important for me to be on record. So that tomorrow, the Speaker doesn't say, well, you didn't inform me about these issues. I'll have my record to show, but yeah, I did write to you over these concerns. So that's why I keep writing, so that I am on record. So that tomorrow no one feigns ignorance, to say, well, I'm hearing that concern, that complaint of the law for the first time. But you see, I don't even have to complain, because the law is very clear. I'm part of the commission, I'm meant to be invited for, because you see, I lead one side of Parliament. The same way the lead of government business leads one side of Parliament. How do you leave such critical leaders, with all due respect, out of such a meeting? How? allowances. I don't even know how to respond to that because I've not attended any commission meeting. So I don't know what happens there. I don't even know what they discuss because they have not invited me for even one, not even one. Yeah, so, and that's why I keep insisting it's important that I attend. I want to know what's happening there. What are they discussing? Who is being given contracts? And so on and so forth. Yeah, how do I feel when all of this is said about Parliament? It is sad. It is sad that Parliament has become a laughing stock in the public out there, and that's why some of us are fighting to see that these issues are addressed. That's why we shall not keep quiet. Because how can Parliament be ridiculed like this? And yet, I am glad that people out there are speaking out. I'm glad that the general public is saying we shall not leave these matters to just you people in Parliament. We are concerned because it's our taxpayer money. I am glad. And I encourage members of the general public, civil society organizations, religious leaders, cultural leaders to speak out. Because what happens here in Parliament affects you whether you like it or not. The other day we were quarreling about tax bills. They affect everybody. You know? So when decisions are taken, when laws are passed, they will affect you whether you like it or not. So I encourage members of the general public, please take interest in the happenings here at Parliament. And I would like to appeal to religious leaders. Some of these leaders here, they normally come before you, they attend functions in church, you give them front seats, invite them as chief guests. Okay, partly because you want them to contribute to your churches and the mosques and, you know, the different projects. But as they give you money, please put these issues to them because they listen to you as religious leaders. Don't just be happy to receive cars from them and money, and then you say, I will not question this person, otherwise they won't bring more money. Otherwise, then you're part of the problem. Namayo, shouldn't NUP maybe pick another lock, or as somebody was asking, should I not resign as lock because I'm being frustrated? Maybe there's a reason why I'm being frustrated. Because I ask critical questions, because I want to know. Okay? And maybe that's why my party chose me. Because they knew I would insist on some of these issues. So by insisting on these issues, I'm doing my job, and I will not stop. If anything, I'll take it a notch higher. Because I think they want to frustrate me so that I keep quiet, and they keep cutting their deals in the Parliamentary Commission. I'll not keep quiet, because I'm not a member of the Commission at the wish of anybody. None of those people on the Commission invited me there. None of them. I'm sure if they were to cast a vote, all of them would vote and say, Senyonyi should cease being a member of the Commission. But unfortunately, they don't have those powers. So I am there, and I am there to stay, and I will demand for my space in that commission, because I'm there on behalf of the people of Uganda. And these questions that I ask them on behalf of the people of Uganda. That's why I will not keep quiet. Budget speech attendance for the LOP. We were here and communicated about that, both for the State of the Nation address and the budget speech, because of our concerns. As we said, the budget is not a true reflection of the people of Uganda. Even we in the opposition, we cannot comfortably say that that's our budget. I cannot defend that budget anywhere, whether it be on a talk show or anywhere, I cannot. And that's why we had our alternative budget. That's why we had our minority reports regarding the budget. But all of them were disregarded. So we are still saying there's a problem. But in addition to that, the procedures that were followed in passing this budget, you bring a corrigenda last minute, 14 trillion shillings, as if it is just 14 million or whatever the case might be. 14 trillion. You bring it last minute, you in a rushed manner, and so on. And then as the speaker was putting the question, people vote a particular way, and then for you declare your own results. All those are irregularities that we are saying no to. So by us not attending, I know, yes, the budget was eventually passed because the majority had their way, but we are saying, to be on record, we are disgruntled about many of these happenings. And it's important to be on record.